to do.
Hail to the Towson Tigers, victory to the black and gold. Fight on with courage, now and forever. Victory strong and bold. Fight, fight, fight. Hail to the Towson
Victory strong and bold. Fight, fight, fight. Hail to the Towson Tigers. Then rally for all to see. Fight, Tigers, fight. Lead us to victory.
What happened? Maybe I think it was me. Usually I slow down, but I was like, I'm gonna just stick with it. Anyway. All right. Roll call. Attorney General Robinson.
Moving along.
Treasurer Eagle.
Present.
Vice President DeVoe.
Present.
President Ndiong.
Present.
Chief of Staff Ambush.
Present.
Director Nduka.
Present.
Assistant Director Washington. Assistant Director Bello.
Present.
Director Whiteside.
Present.
Director Fishkin.
Present.
Director Triskowska.
Present.
Director Perot.
Present.
Director Kapoor.
Present.
Assistant Director Ferguson.
Present.
Solicitor General Whiting.
Present.
Director White.
Present.
Director Foster. Director Moody.
Present.
Director McComb. Director Dieme.
Present.
Director Brown. Director Kemp.
Present.
Assistant Director Hogarth. Assistant Director Banks. Pro Temp Wheeler.
Present.
Senator Dixon.
Present.
Senator Watts.
Present.
Senator Akinsey.
Present.
Senator Newman.
Present.
Senator Afe.
Present.
Senator Goodman.
Present.
Senator Williams.
Present.
Senator Harding.
Present.
Senator Tromble. Senator Tessie.
Present.
Senator Teklu.
Present.
Senator Eaglin.
Present.
Senator Rink.
Present.
Chief Justice Foreman.
Present.
Deputy Justice Sherman. Thank you, everyone.
All right, we'll now move into the approval of the minutes. Are there any amendments to last meeting's minutes? Hearing none, we'll consider them approved. Are there any amendments to the agenda? Hearing no amendments, we'll follow the agenda as written. We have a guest speaker, I believe, today from a student organization that wants to speak. Camp Kasim, I believe is how you pronounce it, which is a nationwide nonprofit led by passionate college student leaders that provides a cost-free week-long sleepaway camp for kids impacted by a parent's cancer. And Paige Chase, I believe, is the representative here today. Is she here with us today?
Hi, I'm here.
Hi, hello. Okay, yes, the floor is all yours. Just, whatever you want to share with us, feel free.
Thank you so much for having me. I am actually here to bring up a concern. We're not an official student organization yet. So I brought up this concern to one of your senators, Courtney. So I am a new transfer student as of this semester, and I have been chosen as a chapter expansion student representative for this organization, Camp Kesem, which as you saw, is a nationwide nonprofit led by passionate college student leaders that provides cost-free week-long sleepaway camp for kids impacted by a parent's cancer. So I have worked with Camp Kesem for the past 2 years as staff, but I was actually a camper with them for about 4 summers. And basically we have a donor who you can start chapters one of two ways. So you can start chapters either through their annual contest, which is where you submit an application and then you go through a contest and basically the general public votes on which chapters they would like to see become actual chapters. Or the other way is to receive a startup grant of $40,000. And basically, this grant is all the money you need for your first 2 summers of camp. And Towson University has been chosen as a potential recipient of this grant because I go there and because there aren't very many other schools in the DC metropolitan area that don't already have chapters that have interested students. So the problem that we're running into is that we've been working with Chris Rindosh in the student organization office. And from what we understand, student organizations are 100% required to use on-campus banking for all of their funds. But with the intricacy of our organization, then Camp Kesem requires us to use their banking, their off-campus banking, just because with the startup funds and with all of the other purchases that need to be made for camps, such as you have to do like campsite reservation, and you have to pay nurses and mental health professionals, and obviously there's a lot of insurance around this. They require us to do offsite banking with them. So there has been a representative that we're working with from the main organization, as well as Chris Rindosh, and they're having trouble finding a way around it. But there are other schools in the area that have chapters, such as Johns Hopkins, University of Maryland, George Washington University, and George Mason. So we're just not really sure what to do at this point because we can't get the funding and we can't start a chapter at all if we can't do off-campus banking. So that's where we're at right now.
Does anyone have any questions?
May I ask a question that I believe is relevant to Courtney, Assistant Director Ferguson? I know you're a part of Tigerthon. Where do you guys get your funding from? Are you considered a student organization, or are you considered like a separate entity?
So I think we're kind of in a similar boat as CAB, correct me if I'm wrong, but we get the money, like we get some SGA funding, I believe, just as CAB does, and then we use that as our funding, as well as some funding from the university.
So all of your funding comes straight from the university, and there's no way that you don't use any sort of outside banking or anything of the sort?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone else have any relevant questions right now? Chief of Staff Ambush? Yes.
Oh, Elizabeth was ahead of me.
Sorry, I see that the chat wasn't open. My apologies. Let's see. Senator Rink?
Yeah, I just had like I guess it's like a question and a comment. So I know for like example, Greek life, all Panhellenic sororities use off-campus like banking methods. They use something called Bill Highway. So would be like possible for a student organization to do, right? Like, I'm not sure.
Chief of Staff Ambush?
I think the issue is if they become a registered student organization with SGA, there may be rules around banking, where Greek life doesn't necessarily run into that issue since they're not with SGA. I have two ideas. One, they could just not be a registered organization with SGA, and they could probably find a different avenue and still be a student organization, just not like one under SGA. Or what they could do, and this might be a little cheating, but like they could have their own internal banking system where they can like ask for supplementals and stuff from us, but then still have the campus banking, and that's with the national chapter. So technically they wouldn't be funding themselves, it would be the national chapter funding their retreat, if that makes sense. Like they'll be funding it for the organization instead of the organization itself funding it, if that makes sense, as a way of the money control. Does that make sense?
Can you say that in like a different way? Because maybe I was grasping it, but can you present it one more time?
Sorry, since they will be a student organization that's part of a larger national organization, the idea would be like they would register as a student organization and technically have that student SGA account, but all the money they need for their retreats and stuff can be held by the national chapter or however they structure their organization, and then they will just say we are paying for the student organization to go, if that makes sense. Instead of the student organization itself saying we are paying ourselves to go, they can just say, oh, the nationwide organization is paying for us to go. That way technically the money isn't in their hands, and so if that makes sense.
Yeah, hold on. Okay, never mind. Okay, I have a question. So is there a direct like point of contact that you are in communication with from the national chapter that's involved in this like transaction that usually happens?
Yes, I don't have her exact name, her name is Jenna, but yes, she's in charge of all of the new chapters. And she has actually had a one-on-one meeting with Chris Rindosh, and I just spoke with her last week, and that's where when I reached out to Courtney, because it's kind of like we can't even start a chapter without their funding. But also we did talk about possibly like I'm sorry if I mispronounced Mr. Ambush, but basically like having a bank account with SGA and then also having the off-campus. That way we could host like on-campus fundraisers and do all of our events on campus, but also then when it comes to the one big week of camp, that would be funded by the national chapter itself. Because what's different about this is we don't just host 1 week of camp during the summer. It's basically the whole saying is through and beyond their parents' cancer. So throughout the whole year, we host like meet and greets, and we have movie nights and stuff to support the families and stuff like that.
Okay, and then my second question would be, Miss Vicky Young, if she would be open to having a meeting with this Miss Jenna person, and discussing this. My apologies. I was like, I didn't know what her position was. Anyway, but if you all could have a meeting, because I believe our direct, business financial specialist within SGA is Miss Vicky. So I think this would be something more in her wheelhouse that she would have more of the verbiage to support you in. But that's just from what I'm gathering. But if there's anything that we can do to connect you with her, or facilitate that process and make it easier, just let us know. But I think we all can agree that it's a really, really meaningful and worthwhile organization. And we'll do whatever we can to support you all in your efforts. But thank you all for coming to share this with us. But yes, anything that we can do to help.
Thank you so much. I'm going to send her email in the chat. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yes, that is perfect. Did you have any other questions for us or comments while you have our ear?
No, that was everything. Thank you so much.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Assistant Director Ferguson, for inviting them. This is great. Thank you for coming. All right. Are there any student concerns or public participation today? Nope. Okay. All right. So we're going to move into communications. Advisors' remarks. Oh, sorry. Is Advisor Bailey not here today?
No, he's not here today.
Oh, okay, sorry. I must have forgotten. My apologies. He most likely told us and it just left me. All right, Appropriations Committee.
No report.
Government Operations Committee.
Hello, everyone. We deemed resolution 19 favorable with amendments.
Awesome. Rules Committee.
No report.
President Dion.
Hi, everybody. I hope you guys have all had a good start to your week. Not too much this week. I just started check-ins like last week. It's been going pretty well thus far. I'm really happy meeting all of you guys and like getting to chat with you. It's very exciting. I feel like I have a bunch of new friends. It's very fun. And then my window is open and people are walking past. I apologize. But yeah, other than that, I had the USM meeting this past Sunday, which went pretty well. They're still working on the same topics I brought to you guys last time. So if there's any new updates, they're making committees now. So if you have any ideas for a committee that you'd like to see in the USM that we haven't made already, then just let me know and I'll touch on it with them at the next meeting. With that, I yield.
Thank you. Treasurer Yeagle.
Can you hear me?
You're muted. Okay, we can
Oh,
hear
I'm
you.
sorry. Oh, no, I meant to say no report. I'm sorry.
That's okay. All right, thank you so much. Attorney General Robinson.
Hi, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great week. Just a reminder to make sure that we're answering emails timely. I know some people are having issues with Outlook, so make sure to just check both emails because you might receive an email from me. And yes, that's all. Also, justices, look out for one-on-ones because those will be coming up. That'll be all.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chief of Staff Ambush.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. So I'll keep it short. One, please remember that everyone who knows they're supposed to do transition materials, please have them done by October 30th. I'm being very, very strict with that. I will start chasing people down on Halloween, and you don't want to get a text from me on Halloween. So make sure you get them in by October 30th. I sat on the TU Dreamers committee yesterday. It is a committee all about how can we best support our undocumented students on campus. It went absolutely amazing. If you want, I'm going to drop the meeting notes in the meeting notes folder soon. If you would have any ideas you want me to bring to that committee or just want to know anything about it, please let me know. And lastly, I've been seeing some of your events coming up. I'm very, very excited. I encourage you all, if you have dates finalized, to please say them during communications as soon as you are able to, just so people can write down the dates, have it on their radar. One thing we learned in this pandemic is making sure we have our dates for our events out early so people can get prepared for them to come. And with that, I yield.
Thank you. Department of Academic Affairs.
Okay, I hope you guys can hear me right now because like my computer's coming in and out, but
It's giving robot.
I hate this. Okay, hopefully you can hear me, but Thursday I have a meeting with provost. Okay, you can hear. Okay. Thursday I have a meeting with the provost, so if you guys have any like student concerns that have to do with academics in general, please like let me know by Thursday. Also on the 30th, I have a meeting with Dean Banco, who's the dean of the Fisher College of Science and Mathematics. So if you have any concerns specific to that department, please let me know. And
sorry, did you yield? Yes. I'm going to assume that you did. Sorry, it just went out. All right, Department of Campus Activities.
Everybody, tonight CAB has an event. It's called BCR Party. It's at 7 p.m. You can find a link on our website. And tomorrow we're having a Halloween game show. where you're going to be able to win cash prizes. So if you have any free time, definitely come out and tell a friend. So with that, I yield.
Thank you. Department of Civic Engagement.
Hi, everyone. So again, Election Day is coming up. And if you would like to volunteer with the TU Vote Center to just help people get excited when they come to the polls, or to help them figure out where parking is in Towson and even in the Baltimore County area, you can go to towson.edu/TU votes and it'll give you some more information. Today is the last day to get the mail-in ballot request in. So if you plan on voting by mail, please make sure to do that like now. And there's 6 days till early voting, 14 days till election day. It's really coming up. So just be sure to research your candidates and let me know if you have any questions. We're gonna have an event soon to make sure that our community, the Towson community, knows who their candidates and who represents them in Towson. And that will be coming during Know Your Voting Rights Week. And with that, I yield.
Thank you. Department of Communications.
No report.
All right. Department of Community Outreach.
Good afternoon, Tigers. Happy Tiger Tuesday. Other than the pre-meeting that I'll be hosting this Thursday, there's really nothing else to report. So with that, I yield. Look forward to seeing y'all Thursday.
Thank you so much. We are so excited. All right. Department of Diversity and Inclusion.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope everyone's having an amazing day. So last week we had some amazing events for Latinx Heritage Month. So I just want to thank CAB, of course, for collabing with us on Thursday for that karaoke night. And also thank you for everyone that came out to the event about just being like politically active and advocating for Latinx individuals. And that was an event that we did with Franca Mueller and her campaign. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the pre-meeting that I'm hosting with the Director of Community Outreach on Thursday. So I hope you all are excited as well. And I hope that you all have an amazing day. With that, I yield.
All right. Thank you so much. Department of Health and Wellness. Department of Health and Wellness? No? Okay. All right. Department of Higher Education.
Hi, everyone. I don't know if you guys, is my sound okay? Okay. I'm having sound issues like all day. Okay, so exciting news. The Extending Intelligences Today mentoring program has selected our first meeting date. It'll be next Wednesday. I'm still looking for mentors. So if you're interested or know anyone that'll be interested, please send them my way. Meetings with the high schoolers will be every Wednesday, 10:45 to 12:45. So let me know if you're interested, please. I need mentors. There will be a panel event that I'm in process of planning November 5th. I will remind you guys, I promise. Yeah, that's still in the planning process though. And with that, I yield.
Director Kemp, will they be online meetings?
Yes, it'll be all on Zoom, and there's like 3 different sections. So, you know, if you can't meet during one portion of the time, you can always jump in during another time.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Department of Legislative Affairs.
Happy Tiger Tuesday, everyone. It's great to kind of see all of you. All I really have to say is please take the survey if you haven't already. If you know anybody that's interested in that type of stuff, please send it out. Really trying to get as many kind of hits on that as possible. And also just super excited for Director White and everybody's events coming up. Really excited for Know Your Rights, Voting Rights Week next week. And yeah, with that, I yield.
Thank you so much. Department of Special Projects.
Hi, everyone. So mark your calendars. We are partnering with the Career Center in an event about how to stand out in the job search during the pandemic, which I think is a phenomenal topic that I think we all need. Personally, I very much need it. And that is going to be November 9th at 5 p.m. I will send the link about Handshake, and then you guys can send it to your student orgs and all of that good stuff. Other than that, I am still working with Liz on the de-stress event, which I think has tentative dates first week of December. And so I will also get those dates to you. And I'd also just like to shout out Director DMA, I hope I'm saying that right, Anna. She didn't have her email working for the longest time, and I had sent her some emails, and when she got her email working again, she literally did exactly what she was supposed to do, didn't even need to message me, and was really on top of her stuff. So just special shout out for her. And with that, I yield.
Thank you so much. We love words of affirmation here. All right, Department of Marketing. Oh, excuse me. Chief of Staff Ambush, did you have a comment?
Yeah, sorry. When was the date you were talking about again, Director Kapoor?
For the Career Center?
Yes.
It is November 9th at 5 p.m.
Department of Marketing, if no one has any other questions. Okay, Department of Marketing. No report. Okay, thank you so much. Department of Student Organizations.
Hi everyone, I hope we're all doing okay. So we are having a second involvement fair. It will be November 6th from 2 to 4 p.m. It's gonna work the same way. It's all virtual, the same way it happened last time through Involve the TU. It is not mandatory for senators. However, everyone is encouraged to go. Student groups can send in a promo video if they want to, and that's due by October 26th at 5 p.m. And I'll include all the information in my weekly email as well. If you have any flyers for any events that you want me to put into my weekly emails, just let me know so I can include that. Also, if you forward me any emails, just let me know what I'm supposed to pay attention to in the email. Like, do you want me to respond to this person? Do you want me to pay attention to something, etc., etc.? And that's really all I have. Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you so much. All right, Department of New Student Development.
Hi, everyone. Happy Tiger Tuesday. So just please continue to share freshman council applications. And also thank you to everyone who's been reaching out regarding freshman council meetings. And one last thing, please follow freshman council at TU Freshman Council on Instagram because we have some new content coming soon. And with that, I yield.
Great. Thank you so much. All right. Athletic Affairs Representative.
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? This morning I had my first meeting with the athletic director, Tim Leonard, and we talked about a variety of topics, but in recent news, the suspension of the idea of a 6-game football season this spring got shut down. That decision was made largely in part by just listening to the players. With football being such a high contact sport, it's not safe to play that many games in such a short period of time and turn around and play more games in the fall. So shout out to the football players for making that tough decision. Working all year round and not getting a season in can definitely be really tough. The coach complimented the guys on it. They're working hard. They're going to be working out all spring and summer. Game day operations and travel actually don't incorporate that much of the budget. So they're still doing a lot for the players right now. And every other sport that got canceled in the fall is still on track to play in the spring and play a spring schedule. That's volleyball, field hockey, and some other sports. And with that, I yield.
Thank you so much. All right. I believe we are at Freshman Council Representative.
Hello, everyone. My name is Camilla Purvis-Amatla, and I have exciting news. Freshman Council has confirmed another member. Malik Bari was confirmed on October 14th, and our exec board elections will be held on October 28th. With that, I yield.
Thank you so much. All right, Office of the Solicitor General.
Hi, everyone, and happy Tiger Tuesday. I'm really excited for Know Your Rights Voting Rights Week. It's going to be next week, the 26th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. We're going to be collaborating with the Office of Legislative Affairs, as well as with the Office of Civic Engagement. We're going to have a lot of representatives from Towson and from all around come out and speak, as well as working with two organizations from campus, Towson Republicans and Towson Democrats. They're going to have a little debate on Thursday. So yeah, if anyone is interested in helping to plan, please let me know. I'm also going to be hosting pre-meeting next week with Director Foster. And with that, I yield.
Thank you so much. All right, I'll try to be quick this week, guys. All right. As for meeting notes, please, if you're in a committee, I just want to reiterate, please utilize the folder for the meeting notes, just because we don't have time for communications for every committee that has an SGA representative during General Assembly, unless it's something that you can touch on briefly during announcements. I'll reiterate this again next week, but there'll be no General Assembly on November 3rd because elections are taking place. Obviously, you can vote early, but we want to give you all an opportunity to do that on, November 3rd. And then also I wanted to let you all know, as a result of resolution number 8, we wanted to follow up with student conduct as well as housing and residence life to speak with them concerning the resolution that called for more tangible steps as a result of a student reporting a hate bias incident in the residence halls. So myself, as well as the senators that participated in writing that bill, which were Senator Affey and Pro Temp Wheeler, we met with a representative from Student Conduct last week to speak about some tangible things concerning I'm getting a little all over the place, concerning more tangible steps after that incident is reported. So we have some specific asks that we'd like to propose to HRL. So we'll have a follow-up meeting soon. So if you all have any concerns or questions or comments about that, please let me know. And upcoming legislation that you all can look out for, an environmental justice course on behalf of Chief of Staff Ambush, as well as test optional to you. And then senators who signed up to participate in the LGBTQIA collection legislation, data collection legislation, as well as the consistent grading system legislation. Those emails went out today. So if you did not receive those, please let me know ASAP so I can send it through another means. But yeah, with that, I yield. All right. Are there any opinions of the court? I don't believe so, but I wanted to ask.
There are no opinions of the court.
Thank you so much. I know you told me, I just want to make sure. There's no unfinished business, so we'll move into new business.
All right. Senator Goodman, I move that we review Resolution 19.
Is there a second?
Senator Teddy, I second.
We will now move into a vote to review Resolution 19. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstaining? And Director Kapoor, I forgot to ask, how many senators do we have for today?
We have 13 senators, but that is including you, so 12 voting, and we have 12 in favor.
Okay, with that, the motion passes. We're now reviewing resolution number 19. Would the senators who wrote the bill, would they like to speak on its behalf?
Hi, everybody. It's Senator Rank. I worked on this bill with Senator Harding, as well as Solicitor General Whiting. So thanks to both of them for working on that with me. So this bill is basically concerning a limit of 2 textbooks per course, 2 required textbooks per course. And the meaning of this bill is just to further make the education that Towson University provides accessible and cheap enough for students to be able to afford. There's a lot of research in here. Thanks in huge part to Senator Harding. She did a really awesome job on this bill. There's a lot of research as to how much textbooks cost on average. And it sort of gives you, sorry, I'm just staring at the screen and sort of getting like, I'm so sorry.
I'm so
No,
sorry.
you're so fine. I was just like stuttering and I felt the need to explain myself. Anyway, basically, this is just to further drive home the idea that education at Towson University should be accessible and affordable to students. Yeah, I don't know if Senator Harding or Solicitor General Whiting wanted to talk about it at all.
Oh, did you want me to go next, Senator Rink? All right. So far for the bill, I conducted a lot of research. Some of the resources that I used was College Board, YouTube, and other resources as well. I did try to conduct a survey to get some potential data for the students, but a lot didn't participate. Even though a lot didn't participate in the survey, it was still a little bit useful to see what they had to say in terms of textbook affordability and just seeing if they wanted a textbook limit. Most of them said that, hold on, I'm gonna look at the survey again. Just give me one moment, please. So far, majority of the students that purchased the their textbooks this year have said that they spent $200 to $600 on textbooks within this semester. I asked them if most of those textbooks were expensive or cheap. Most of them said they were expensive, and the other portion said they were sort of both. They were both cheap and expensive. And I also asked when they bought those books, did they help to increase their comprehension in the current classes that they have? And so far, a lot of people have said no, and only little people have said yes. And I asked them if they had a hard time finding any of the books that were assigned to them in any of their class. It was sort of like a 50-50 share in terms of like what they said. 50% of the people said yes, 50% of the people said no. And I asked them if their professors gave them a considerable amount of time in terms of just purchasing these textbooks. Most of the students have said no, and some of the students have said that they did give them some time, but they would have loved a heads up in advance, like before the classes even started and when they handed out the syllabuses. And I said, did they have any issues concerning the affordability and accessibility of the books? They said so far it's just too much money and it was too much of a struggle to just get all these books.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
Can I speak on this behalf?
Yes.
Just piggybacking off of what Senators Rink and Harding said, this bill is kind of just supplementing the one from last week and reiterating the need for affordable textbooks for students. The 2 textbook limit, it was a little hard to come to, but after doing like research on the amount of textbooks that are required per class, we felt like it was a reasonable limit to put on it.
Okay, Director Trzaskowska on point of information.
Hi, sorry, this might be kind of like my own ignorance showing through just because I haven't gotten to any quite higher level classes. Are there a lot of classes at Towson that do require more than 2 textbooks that kind of students are getting upset about?
I would say it sort of depends on your major. Like with the last bill we talked about, a lot of science and math related classes tend to have direct access textbooks that do a lot of stuff online, or they simply just have like one like college-wide textbook that they use for like every intro bio or whatever. But I know personally I've taken a lot of liberal arts classes and I have had to buy 6 novels before. And while they may be cheap as a paperback for each one, when you have to buy 6 to 10 of them, depending on the class, it really adds up. And if your major is something in that discipline and all of your classes make you buy 5 books each, it can really add up. So it does depend. Yeah, to answer your question, it depends, I would say.
Okay, and this is just applicable to textbooks or to those types of like novels as well?
So it's just applicable to textbooks in general, because we felt as though it's sort of like a good meeting point between all the different kinds of classes you take, considering some only have one, some have a bunch, so we figured 2 would be a good point. It was hard to draw that point though, so.
Thank you.
Okay, Director White, point of clarification.
Yes, I was just wondering, are you all willing to put into this document also that like if it is 2 textbooks, these textbooks each cannot exceed a certain amount? So I know for science textbooks, they can be up there, you know, that with the excess code, it goes crazy. So is there like any type of amendment that you can make to say that like, okay, if you're gonna do 2 textbooks, that it cannot exceed this amount with that I yield?
Sorry, I didn't know. Solicitor General White, did you want to say something?
I was just going to say that I wouldn't be opposed to implementing like a price limit as well. I think it's important that we have both of those just for classes that don't necessarily have more than 2 textbooks, but they do have pricey textbooks. It would make sense.
Okay, Chief of Staff Ambush, you had a comment?
Yeah, my comment, I was gonna say like, oh shoot. I was gonna say like, honestly, a lot of these professors don't even need their textbooks. Like, I'm gonna be honest, you know, if my professor's watching this, I'm sorry, but like a lot of y'all slides is the textbook. And then I also have a great number of professors who don't give textbooks. They'll just take readings from JSTOR, and that provides more better information, more better and up-to-date information than a textbook. So, you know, I'm happy this bill is here. I really, professors should just utilize JSTOR more. It's free. Towson's paying for it. We might as well just use it. And to your question about like the price limit, I think a price limit, I think it's a good idea. 100% agree. I've had semesters where I paid over $300 for textbooks for all my classes. The only thing I wonder is that how much different majors have different price points. Like I know if you're like a social science major, like your textbook could be free all the way up to like $100. While I don't know how much like science or math or computer science textbooks would be. So I think that would require a bit more research, but I love a price cap because I'm tired of paying for all this.
Okay, let me see. Director DMA, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of use stuff from my like experience and stuff like with one of my research classes. Like I've already like paid for like 3 books already, and it's kind of like excessive. So I definitely support this bill because the prices do like kind of like rack up, and it like, especially during like a pandemic, it can like really like hurt some students. So I fully support this bill.
Okay, Senator Teku, on point of information.
Yeah, I just want to point out like 2 things. One specifically with my major, I'm like a computer science major, and I know for most of my classes we use like new edition books, even though it's not different from the latest one, and they tend to be a lot more expensive. So like with price range, I don't know how like different departments or like even different professors from different classes, when you switch, like they tend to use different things. So I don't know how that can personally be adjustable, but one thing that I would recommend specifically for my major is I know every year they have like new edition books, and I promise y'all, it's not different at all. So it's like, I think negotiating with professors to use an alternative, or like if we can give them like a price range, if they can give us like, if they can require us to have like 3 books within a price range, because if we say 2 books and then give them a price range, they're just going to be like either or. I don't know. I'm mainly speaking from my major, if that makes sense. But it's going to be hard specifically for my major to specifically tell them like, I want this, because different professors, even though we learn the same thing, it's like they require different things. That's all.
Okay, Senator Goodman, you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that like it's important that we note here that a lot of professors are, well, there are obviously professors that use textbooks. Sometimes there are professors that don't use textbooks, and I feel like it just, I don't know, I just feel like when professors just use a textbook for teaching the class through solely the textbook, it really doesn't say much about the quality of the professor. Like, it's kind of sad that there are professors that will only use textbooks to teach the class, not really use their own knowledge. But that's not what we're talking about here. So I'm just curious to know, well, actually I'll state this later. I have a point of or could I state it now? There's a point of clarification question I have to ask.
I would say wait, because there is a few senators ahead of you.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. Senator Newman, you have a comment?
Just to answer, I think Director, I apologize if I say your name wrong, Triskaska, sorry. She asked about like how many textbooks in like a course or something like that. My major is psychology, and I had to take research design and statistical analysis in psychology. And I had either 5 or 6 textbooks, and I only used 2, but I had to buy all of them, and that was probably like $200, $300 for them. And even renting them off of Amazon or you try to like finesse it, is still too much. And just to use 2, that's ridiculous. Like, so I definitely think this bill like is important, because that's a lot of money going into one class, and I take 5 other ones. So yeah, yeah.
Okay, Director White, point of clarification.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify or ask a question and comment on something that Chief of Staff Ambush said. So I do think that it is important to recognize that specifically in STEM fields, those textbooks are very, very expensive, but also in these STEM fields, we see a lack of diversity. And I do want to recognize that part of that diversity does come with the how inaccessible these majors are due to the cost that is associated with them, such as access codes that you cannot renew, such as just textbooks that change editions every freaking month that you are required to pay for. And so if we cannot get a cost cap on those textbooks in those fields, I do also recognize, and I think that it should be recommended for those fields, specifically at Towson University, to have some like grant or scholarship for marginalized students who are pursuing degrees in those fields to pay for those textbooks, because inclusion and diversity in these specific fields is something that is often talked about in the classrooms, but we see how inaccessible your presence in that classroom is when we look at the price that it costs to just get into the classroom and to pay for these textbooks. So I don't know if that could be some type of initiative that we do along with the bill, but I do think that Chief of Staff Ambush did bring up a very, very relevant concern. And I believe Senator Teklu mentioned, like, specifically with the IT department. IT is another department that does not have like as much diversity, but you can see that there is a high cost associated with being in like the IT program. So I would urge us to kind of like consider something that we can do alongside this bill if we cannot get some type of cap on the prices for textbooks in those STEM fields. With that, I yield.
Okay, Senator Gummy, point of clarification.
Oh, am I muted? Oh, okay. No, I'm not. All right. Okay. So I guess I just want to ask one thing. Is there a percentage of which you want to see the price reduced? And if so, how do you see the textbook publishers working with the university to reduce that price?
So I don't see textbook companies working with the university at all, but I feel like it's the university's responsibility to its students to make up the difference because we know that they can, especially since we're a public university and we receive public funding. So that's, we don't have a percentage, although I'm not sure what the difference, like, I'm not sure if it would make a difference in my opinion to have a cap, a monetary cap versus a percentage, but I'm open to like either or. We just went with a monetary value, but to answer your other question about textbook companies, we did include in that the top whereas that's visible right now, how the textbook industry is just continuing to get more expensive, and I doubt that they would ever consider, until the economy for textbooks bottoms out, I doubt they would consider helping us. So it's the university's responsibility to do so, in my opinion, and I think that's the stance of the bill as well.
Okay, and Senator Goodman also said you have a motion here as well.
Yes. I think, well, I would like to add, I move that we add a sentence to the portion of the bill where it says, therefore be it resolved. We say additionally that the university will cut average textbook costs by 50%.
Okay, is there a second to that motion?
Senator Dixon, second.
Is there any discussion? If no further discussion, we will now move into a vote to add to the therefore be it resolved section. Instead of going to use Director White had a comment. Vice President Vogt, sorry.
No, it's okay. Director Tryskowska had some discussion.
Oh. Yes, Director Tryskowska, please go ahead.
Sorry, I just saw what Jordan had recommended in the chat. I'm not sure if Towson can necessarily cut everything by 50%. I'm not sure if that would be something in this bill or another one. I'm also not sure if everyone else was able to see what Vice President DeVoe said in the chat. Excuse me for my language earlier. So I'm just not sure if this might necessarily be the best add-on to this bill, if that makes sense. Oh, and with that, I yield. Sorry.
If I could respond about the recommendation, Pro Temp Wheeler, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
My recommendation was simply to add like a few words to the therefore be it resolved section, where it says endorse a 2 textbook limit. I'm trying to scroll back and find it in the chat somewhere. Oh, here we go. A 2 textbook limit, comma, with a collective cost not to exceed $200, comma, in order to respect the financial status, yada, 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 and to just continue. The cost, I don't feel necessarily strongly about. If someone would like to accept the recommendation as is, that's fine. Or if someone would like to change the cost, that's fine too. But just like from a wording standpoint, that was the approach that I saw fit. But I also agree that 50% is not realistic.
Well, therefore, I retract my motion then.
Okay, all right. I'm just going to the chat just to see if I missed anyone. Senator Teddy, I believe you had a point of information about the bill.
Yeah, before I say it though, I would like to accept Vice President DeVoe's recommendation, but again, like she mentioned, the price, I'm not sure if it's a good price to go with. So I would like to know about what others are thinking. Is that like an affordable price we should go with or not? And my question was, I just want to I guess clarify, is this bill, because we're all so excited about it, is this bill only for pandemic times, or are you just taking baby steps towards, I guess, making it for forever? I'm just trying to understand.
I think it would be for forever. I think that this is just building upon it. Since we are in a pandemic, we have to acknowledge the economic circumstances that we're in. But I think this is just building towards the future forever. As far as the $200 limit, I think that, I don't know, 200 might be a little low. I don't know if we would want to go like 300 or maybe 250. I think I would be more comfortable with that number.
Can I also continue with my question, or should I wait?
Yes, you can. You can continue with the question.
Okay. Is the 200 I'm trying to figure out, is it for a specific class or just 200 in total of how many books per semester, if that makes sense?
I interpreted it to be $200 per class, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
Can Vice President DeVoe clarify, please?
Oh, well, really, I think that it was just the course in a given semester. That was the way I interpreted the legislation, but the senators can, feel free to. Okay, I'm getting head nods. I'm assuming that's correct. So yes, just for a course in a given term. So whether that be a fall, spring, mini-mester, just in a given course. That's what I would say. And if you'd like to add the language, that's fine too. But just make sure that you provide the language when you make the motion for the minutes.
Okay, I feel like we should hear the comments before someone accepts the recommendation.
Of course.
Okay. Chief of Staff Ambush, we had a comment.
I have a comment about the recommendation, but I can say my comment it after once we move into discussion about the recommendation. So I can yield it for now.
Okay. President Young, you have a comment?
Yes. First and foremost, just to clarify, you said, Solicitor General Whiting, you said that you wanted it to be $200 per class, correct?
I was asking for $250 or to $300 per class.
Okay. My only issue with that is that I feel like that's a really big ballgame. If in reality, I feel like we should be shooting for $300 total per semester, just because I think if we're giving that ballgame of $250 per class, that could easily add up. If people are taking a course load of 5 classes per semester, that's a huge amount of money. That if we're really looking at as a whole, then we should be looking for students to be paying less than $300 per semester towards their textbooks. So that would limit each professor to maybe like 90. Which, then that's it. With that, I yield. I don't know. You guys can take that however you will.
Okay, Senator Tekle, you have a comment?
Yes. So I'm gonna be speaking from my experience. As President Dion said, I don't think $90 per professor is gonna be okay, specifically for my major. So I don't know how that's gonna work. And the other thing I was gonna suggest was, for example, if the university can hold like department chairs, like to talk to for like access code and stuff like that, because I know for some of my math class, the first math class that I was in, I paid for where we submit our homeworks and assignment or do work online. I had to pay for access code, and then when I switched class to another class, I didn't necessarily have to pay for the other class. So if department chairs can check in with their professors or with their department to choose an easy route, which is like the cheaper or free access for students, before actually different professors suggesting for students to pay or like anything around that, if we can do that, I feel like that would be really helpful, and then that would be really cheaper for students too. And yeah, I forgot her name, but I think 250 does sound like realistic, specifically for my major, because I know I had to pay like for 2 books for around $300 for one of my classes, just one class. So $90 for one class, it doesn't sound really realistic, specifically for my major. And I yield.
Okay, Senator Dixon, point of information.
Yes, so I wanted to know if the 2 textbook, the 2 required texts, does that mean that other texts that a professor may need for a course is not allowed? Is that I guess it's like, and then if that is the case, then I was going to be, is it possible where there could be like an optional, so there'd be like 2 required texts and then like optional section where the choice to purchase the book, but they have to, and then for students to know they can take it upon themselves to scan pages and submit them through, on Blackboard or Canvas or whatever platform they use, so that students still aren't missing out. Because I know one of my English teachers, English professors use that method. She has a text you can purchase that she requires you, and then other ones that she said, you don't necessarily need this to pass the course, but we will be discussing X and Y points. Here is a PDF of like what we're going to be going over. Because I hear everybody talking about having like 5 textbooks, but they only use 2 out of the 5. And then out of the other ones, they have, maybe bits and pieces they may need, but it's not necessarily required. So I know every major is different, every student is different in how they, their relationship with textbooks, but that was just my question. Is this 2 required text limit mean that all other not necessarily allowed to purchase? So I just got some clarification with that.
I would say that this is this legislation is just a limit on textbooks that are required in the sense that like you need them to pass the course. They're like a major part of your course material. So like textbooks for math and science classes. For classes that have supplementary texts, I think that there's nothing wrong with them, but they should be supplementary. Like you should, it shouldn't impede your grade in the class if you can't afford to buy extra textbooks. They shouldn't be that important. And if they are, then this should ideally work in conjunction with our previous piece of legislation that said alternatives should be provided if students can't afford those texts. So the two required texts would be like the textbooks, and then supplementary texts aren't prohibited under this legislation or discouraged. They just shouldn't be necessary for completion of the course, if that answers your question.
Okay, Chief of Staff Ambush, you had a comment?
Yeah, I had a comment in response to President Indiong, but I think she's not here. But my response would be
I'm here, sorry.
My response would be I agree we should like lower it for all students. My only concern with having it like be for all the classes combined is some people take more than 5 classes and some people take less than 5 classes. So it'd be difficult to put one price range on everyone because different people take a different amount of classes. I do agree, and I also hear Senator Teklu's comment about like some majors, the textbooks might just be straight up expensive, and that's just the way it is, unfortunately. So I forgot where I was going with that. Wow. But I'm just wow. You know what? Just let me go.
Okay, Director Diema, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just had a really quick comment about what Senator Dixon said. I love that you brought the point up about optional and like supplemental readings. There should be already sections in each syllabus if there is an optional or supplemental reading for each class. So that's like already like reinstated. If it's not there, then they probably like all books are probably required. But if it is there, then it's like optional.
Okay, Vice President Vogt, recommendation?
I recommend to limit this discussion to 20 more minutes.
Does someone accept that recommendation?
Senator Goodman, I accept that recommendation.
Is there a second?
Senator Rank, I second.
Okay, we will now move to a vote to limit the time to, and Vice President, you said, Vice President, you said 25 minutes, correct me if I'm wrong?
I said 20 minutes.
20 minutes, okay. Okay, so we might move into a vote to time limit to 20 minutes on this bill. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstaining? Director Kapoor, can you please read the vote count back to us?
Wait a minute, someone else just voted. 13 in favor.
Okay, and that the motion passes. We will finish discussing this bill at 6:28. Okay, and Vice President, you have a question?
This was just for the voting count. So did someone join the meeting late, or because I thought we had 12 in the beginning?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Did someone vote twice, or did a non-senator vote?
Isaiah's a senator?
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Isaiah.
It's okay. Newly confirmed, but yes, then we should have 13 going forward.
Perfect. Thank you.
That was the mistake. I'm sorry. I didn't count Isaiah initially in the.
That's okay. He's new. But yes, Senator Paxton.
Mr. Williams, you have a motion?
Yes, I move that we vote on the bill as it is, as opposed to implementing a financial limit, because the science and the math, depending on where you are, your limit financially will be different. So I think that's something we should research more, but I think we should vote on the bill as it is. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a second?
I second that.
Senator Teddy, I second.
Okay. Director Kapoor and Assistant Director Ferguson, you got who seconded, correct?
Can I have who made the motion again, please?
Sorry, Senator Williams.
Okay, thank you. No need to.
Okay. Then we will now vote on the bill as a whole without adding anything else. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstaining? And Director Kapoor, can you please read the vote count back to us?
13 in favor.
Okay, and with that, the motion passes. Okay. Are there any announcements?
Point of clarification, don't we still have to vote on the bill, or was
We
that
just
just?
vote on the bill as a whole.
Okay, I was.
Oh, President Wheeler, that vote was to vote.
Sorry, guys, my mistake. All right, so now we will be voting on the bill as a whole. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstaining? And Director Court, can you please read the vote aloud for us?
13 in favor.
Okay. Thank you, Assistant Director Ferguson. And with that, the motion passes. Now, are there any announcements? Then, Vice President DeVoe, you have a comment?
I was just going to say, please be patient with me as I'm responding to some emails. I know one of them, I believe it was Justice Sherman, that reached out to me about the bereavement policy. I just want to let you know to expect a response within the next day and some change. But sorry about that.
Okay, and Chief of Staff Ambush, you had a comment as well?
Yes. No, why did it just leave my mind? It's okay. I had a second announcement. My second announcement is do not forget there is a I mentioned this in the group meet. I'm going to send out a more formal email that's going to outline the way that people can submit this. I still have to talk to Chris Rendosh about it, but so as outlined in the Constitution, it is required that we have 3 community service hours each SGA member. However, because of COVID-19, that is not able to be done. So please remember, we are asking you just visit one educational event. So this could be a talk, this could be a conference, this could be some sort of meeting. I did put in some restrictions, so it can't be, if you're going to a talk or something that's about an identity, it can't be an identity you identify as. So like me, I'm Black, so I can't go to a event about Blackness and count that, because that is an identity I already identify for. Also, it can't be from an organization that you frequent. So let's say you frequent BSU, you can't go to a BSU event and count that either. So we're trying to learn and really develop as people. So just one event, it doesn't have to be Towson related. If you just happen to see on Twitter someone's doing a talk on environmental justice, and it's at Johns Hopkins, you can go and watch their talk. If a student organization is having a meeting about an identity or something, you can also go there as well. So I will send an email to formalize it again. And you have until the end of the semester to do it. It's really easy. A lot of student orgs are having these types of events. They're like 1 hour. They have it multiple times a week. And I will be sending events that will fit that criteria in the social chat every once in a while so people can find it.
Okay, Vice President DeVoe, you have a comment?
Sorry, I forgot. I have member of the week this week. This person was so amazing. Really took some initiative on writing a bill that's coming up very soon in terms of resident assistance. So I just wanted to shout her out because she really did the thing. And it is honestly the epitome of what I look for in a senator, is someone who can really take initiative and see a student concern and respond. So Senator Elizabeth Eaglin, you are our member of the week.
Okay, are there any other announcements? And congratulations, Senator Eaglin. Yay, so excited. If no more announcements, are there any motions on the floor?
Senator Goodman, I move that we adjourn if there are no more announcements.
Is there a second?
Senator Rank, I second.
Is there any discussion? If no further discussion, we will now move into a vote to adjourn. All those in favor? All opposed? Abstaining? Assistant Director Ferguson, can you please read the vote count back to us? Oh, if you were speaking, you were muted.
13 in favor.